September marked the 30th anniversary of Super Mario Bros. The portly plumber has come a long way over the past 3 decades, and Nintendo decided to celebrate with Super Mario Maker. Super Mario Maker isn't a traditional Mario game, though. It's actually a level designer. With it, you can create your very own levels for the original Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario World, and New Super Mario Bros. U. Obviously, there's no story to talk about, so let's dive right into what we have available here. Ah, jeez. I was afraid they were going to do this. Not all of the level assets are available from the get-go. Which, to be fair, isn't unheard of in create-it-yourself games, but that doesn't make it any less annoying. But hey, as long as I can unlock things fairly quickly, I can't really complain. I have to wait an entire day just to get to the next set? There's not even a prerequisite, like make 3 levels to unlock the next set? I just have to sit around and wait? Who on earth thought that was a good idea? And I know what you're thinking. But Nick, they released a day 1 patch that changed that. Just download the patch and you'll unlock a new set every 15 minutes. That's all fine and dandy, and I'm glad they scrapped that dumb idea at the last minute, but guess who didn't have access to Wi-Fi the entire month of September? Well, more specifically, my community Wi-Fi didn't support game consoles. So I was stuck with version 1.0 of the game and had to wait 9 days to unlock everything. Let's take a look at the advertising for this game, shall we? They hyped this game up as an expansive level designer. Want to stick a hammer bro on top of a giant winged Bowser? Go right ahead! Anything goes in this wacky level creator. From the TV commercials to the levels featured at the Nintendo World Championships, they were selling this game well, and I was getting really excited about it. But when I finally bought it, nothing but disappointment washed over me. I had all these crazy level ideas bouncing around my head, but wasn't given the tools to bring them to life. I couldn't even make levels for my favorite 2D Mario game, Super Mario World. Only the original Super Mario Bros. And New Super Mario Bros. U were available from the start. I had to wait nearly a week before I even got the option to make Mario 3 or Mario World levels. I know I'm kind of ranting about this, but I really hate it when create-it-yourself games do this. It's as if you were promised a nice, juicy hamburger cooked just the way you like it, but when it was finally served to you, the waiter stopped you from eating it, took everything off your plate but the lettuce, handed it to you, and said, "There you are, sir and/or madam. You may have the tomatoes in 24 hours. You'd feel pretty ripped off, right? But let's simmer down from that for a minute and talk about what the game is like once you do unlock everything. Frankly, it's great. Like, really great. This isn't your typical glorified ROM hack. It's incredibly easy to pick up, and the amount of options you have is a delight. What I really like is being able to drop assets from future games into previous games. For example, booze in the original Super Mario Bros. And the physics for each version of Mario feel exactly like the originals. I was worried that the physics would be universal with different coats of paint splashed on, but that's not the case. Landscapes are very easy to create, and putting in assets is as simple as dragging and dropping them in. Much like the level creator for Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, you use the gamepad to draw and drop everything in. I was sketchy about the gamepad's worth as a controller at first, but it seems like Nintendo is finally figuring out how to utilize it in a fun and streamlined way. I could spend hours making my own Mario courses, but that isn't all Mario Maker has to offer. In 10 Mario Challenge, you can play through some pre-made courses for fun and inspiration. But even better than that is Course World, the online mode of this game. There, you can enter a 100 Mario Challenge. That's your chance to play through levels that people all around the world upload. You have 100 lives to get through 8 or 16 levels, but you probably won't need all of them. At least in easy or normal mode. Some of the levels in expert mode, on the other hand.
Oh no!
Oy, let's just say you could easily deplete all 100 lives on one of those levels. Unless you want to skip it. With a simple flick of the stylus, you can move on to another level with no penalty. And if you complete these gauntlets, you unlock a power-up costume. These costumes can be used in the original Super Mario Bros. Levels and can also be unlocked with Amiibo. They even have their own unique poses and sound effects. Going back to the online mode, I've come across some truly great levels. I've seen some extremely clever and challenging ideas implemented, and come across things I would never be able to do or even think of. There are also a fair share of cheap levels, but since the uploader has to beat their own level before uploading it, the risk of running into a nearly unbeatable death trap is greatly minimized. I think Mario Maker's biggest selling point is making courses and sharing them online. That's certainly what they advertise the most. But it becomes the game's biggest drawback if you don't have a way to connect to the internet. Whether it's because your community Wi-Fi doesn't support game consoles, your family can't afford Wi-Fi, or if you're a kid, your parents just won't let you game online. For people in that situation, I don't think this game is worth it at the moment. For one main reason, the price. This game is $60, and frankly, I think that's way too much for a game that's just a level creator. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker was $40, Kirby and the Rainbow Curse was $40. Bayonetta 2 came with the first and second game but kept the price at $60. But just because this level maker is technically a main Mario game, the price gets to be jacked up? I just don't see how that's fair. And you know what? I'm gonna say it. I'm disappointed that this is Super Mario's 30th anniversary title. Mario is one of, if not the most iconic and important characters in gaming. I thought Nintendo would be celebrating in a big way with a new platforming game. Maybe a 2.5D remake of the original Super Mario Bros. Or Super Mario Galaxy 3, but instead they basically tell us to make the game. I like Mario Maker, I really do. I just don't think it should have been the anniversary title. Looking at it without that mindset though, I still don't think the game is worth $60. Yes, there is a lot you can make, but there are still major omissions. The biggest one being slopes. You can create as much land as you want, but only if it's a square or a rectangle. I know tons of people are griping about the lack of slopes, but it really is a huge limitation. Without them, you just can't get as creative with the level design. The game becomes more about building the levels around enemies and obstacles, not the actual level terrain. You couldn't even put checkpoints in at first. That was added in via patch a month after launch. Yeah, they'll probably patch in slopes eventually, but only those with access to Wi-Fi will be able to download the updates. If you're stuck with the vanilla version of the game, well, too bad. Enjoy your squares. That's becoming a problem across the board. Yes, it's absolutely amazing that Wi-Fi allows us to play with gamers across the globe and download DLC and virtual console games, but a line has got to be drawn somewhere. I feel like more and more game developers are becoming too dependent on patches. Not putting as much effort into a game just because you know you can patch something in or out later isn't fair to the consumer. Lots of people live paycheck to paycheck and save up months in advance to be able to afford the game that they've been looking forward to all year. How do you think they would feel when they start the game and it's not nearly as good as they thought it was going to be? They can write to the developers and ask to fix what's wrong or missing, but nothing is going to patch out that first wave of disappointment. I really hope this trend tapers off soon. As for my final verdict on Mario Maker, I think it's a fun game and a great creative outlet, but I'd wait for a sale or a price drop. I paid full price for my copy on launch day, and I've had fun with it, but I still don't feel like I got my money's worth. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a fantastic day. Hello, sir and/or madam. Just a friendly reminder that your tomatoes will arrive in just 12 more hours. Enjoy the rest of your evening.